Shout. Always Irish. Shout. Always Irish. Shout. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. What are you doing? Don't do this to me, Harry! The Ohio State. It's Ohio State! What do you mean, the? It's a poison. I almost stroked out and died over it. I'm glad to be at the party. I'm mad we're this late. You ain't a captain of nothing but a sinking ship. That helps the defense without them even doing a damn thing. Doing a damn thing. The calling line. 312-988-15. You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. No Irish. No Irish. No Irish. No Irish. Irish. Yeah, that's right. No Irish. No Irish. No Irish. No Irish. Irish. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Welcome back, folks, to despite all of the big picture frustrations, of which there are many to choose from, all Notre Dame can do is win the rest of the games. That's it. That's all you could do in the short term to make anybody feel any better about any of this. And even that isn't going to feel that much better, but it's a lot better than losing. It's all you could do is win the remaining games. Notre Dame fans are in a bad spot. They're down and out. I've been struggling to regain momentum. Coming out of the bye, people are in a bad spot. Stuck in the middle between this year's dead, but we still have games we got to win, but I'm not in the mood for it, but I'm going to watch it angrily, and you got to win, but it isn't going to change anything. You just feel stuck. You just feel trapped. And you just feel largely empty. After all the journey of this year, you end up at the end and you just feel like, where did we go? We're right where we start. I'm struggling. This feeling is just really uncomfortable, and there's no way out of it. There's just no way. You move right and you're bumping into it. You move left, you're bumping into it. There's no way. There's no way out. Notre Dame fans are struggling. All right, let's get into this because I want to cover kind of what is still on the line and on. I hate where we're at. Okay, I hate where we're at. I hate the road that led here. I hate the uncertainty of navigating out. I hate where we're at. This year wasn't supposed to feel like this. Thank you for being here. You guys are loyal. I'll give you that much. In the midst of your misery, you're still here in the morning, and I appreciate it. But I feel the weight of all this wearing down on everything. I feel the weight of all this wearing down on everything. The interest isn't there. The vibes are bad. If people are talking about Notre Dame, it's just bad and down. And I know I do that too. I'm not saying it's wrong to do. I'm saying I hate the circumstance we're in. As always, you can find the program on YouTube. Do it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up. That helps Johnny out as well. Notifications on that way you're alerted every time we all have a collective breakdown. Twitter, search bar Always Irish or at Always Irish Jake. Emails alwaysirishhandy@gmail.com. Audio only anywhere you want it. You can get it. The call-in line. 312-988-15. You call and tell Johnny all you heard and seen. We got some phone calls today. I'm going to throw it to you guys. See where you're at. Maybe you can make me feel better in my brain about where we sit. But I don't know if anything can do that. I don't know if anything can do that. This is a rough spot to be in. I don't appreciate it at all. Instagram, Facebook, Always Irish Inc. USA Today, Fighting Irish Wire. Read all about it. Kennedy and Goolsby, former Notre Dame captain, very outspoken. Patreon.com/alwaysirish. Ryan Elliott, $2 hour. Love the extra content on Patreon. Keep it up. Appreciate that very much. Once this disappointing season completes, we're going to have even more Patreon stuff. It frees us up to bring on all the former players, do all the interviews and all that bigger picture stuff we want to do. So I'm almost excited for the season end in that way. NDSubwayalumni.com. Go there, link in the description. Get yourself a Lewski, get yourself some apparel for the Notre Dame loving Subway alum fan in your family. Very important cause to me. Subway alums, big part of the reason Notre Dame's the brand it is. A worldwide. Okay. No, we're talking about Dante Moore. I just can't. Because Chip Kelly's leaving, I'm going to go to the calls first. I'll get right into the calls, and then we'll go from there. I'm going to let you guys talk it through. The Dante Moore thing's funny. It's like, oh, UCLA is going to get rid of Chip Kelly, and then Dante Moore will come to Notre Dame or whatever. Did I miss the alert where now Notre Dame football is allowed to have undergrad transfers? Did I miss that release by Notre Dame administrative email? Where did that come? They're letting Shrewsbury get some guys that are underclassmen to fill out that basketball roster. I'm just asking. I get it why people went to Dante, but then my question is, are they going to allow an undergrad transfer for this out of nowhere? You know there's NIL money. Hartman got it. You know it's there. So I'm just bringing that up as an issue. Jaded John, don't talk about Michigan while the contractor is here, please. You are on speaker. I'm telling you this right now. That story's exhausting me. And seeing us not be playing good kills my initiative to really want to go in on that as hard as I wanted to before the Clemson game. Like, I'm sorry. It's just you have no leverage when you're playing like crap to be running your mouth online about much of anything. It's just, we're in a rough spot, Notre Dame people. We're in a rough spot. All right. I got a lot of your comments highlighted. I'm going to come back to because they're kind of right where I'm at. But let's see what some of the callers think where we're at. Dr. John, first up. Good to touch base with you, Doctor.
Hey, good morning, John.
Hey.
Well, like I said on chat on Monday, I think I've had more scar tissue than anybody, so maybe it's not affecting me as much as some of the other guys.
John, people are down and out, man. People are down and out. People are struggling. It's just a really frustrating dynamic. Small picture, big picture, there's no easy way out of some of our issues. People just feel trapped. You're like ready to look to the future, but there's games to win now. But even if you win them, it doesn't change much now. People are in a bad spot. You got anything to make us feel any better? People are in a dark spot, brother. Come on, deliver the goods.
Well, I'll tell you what I got to a little story. Friends of mine go into a new restaurant in Lake City, Minnesota, some years back. And the waitress comes over and Susan asks the waitress, what comes with this sandwich? And the waitress looks at her and says, not a damn thing. So that's what I got for you.
That's perfect. That's perfect. It's rough, Dr. John. This
John, I've been through this so many times.
How do you get through it? How do you get through it?
You know what my biggest problem is right now?
What's that?
Trying to figure out how I'm going to watch the Stanford game.
Yeah, I know. That's insult to injury, Dr. John. It's going to be the last game. It's so ceremonial when Notre Dame's involved. It's going to be the last game on that network because it's folding, because the whole conference is screwed and that TV deal's horrible. Like, leave it to Notre Dame to have the last game as the Pac-12 network breathes its dying breath. It's got to be Notre Dame on. Like, come on, man. It just hurts. It shouldn't be this.
But why are they doing this to me?
I,
It's all about me, Don.
I know. It's like Stanford's not good and Notre Dame's not good enough to bump it to a regular network. So people are going to be, and John, the irony is everybody's so upset about the way Notre Dame plays, but they're all mad they can't see the game to yell at how we're playing. They at least want to be able to see it to get mad.
I know.
It's bad.
It feels like a drug addict who's not going to get his fix.
I know. It's like, I know this is bad for me, but I still need it and want it in my life. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It's terrible. It's terrible. Well, let's talk. Talk Wake Forest.
They're bad.
Originally was
they're bad.
saying, start on jelly, and then Mikey Poles brought out a good point at senior day. You got to start Hartman.
Yeah.
Regardless, you got to start him. I don't know how long you go with him, but
yeah,
hopefully not more than a half, because I just not that I'm not saying anything against Hartman. I'm just saying we need to let some of those young guys get out there and have to do it.
John, here's the answer. I've really been struggling having a positive outlook, trying to find the motivation to process these next two games that don't have a lot of juice. Here's, I think, the best outcome for Notre Dame, the remaining two games. I'm not worried about the bowl game because I don't know what's all going to be involved and who's in and out and all that. I'm not worried about that. Isn't the best outcome you beat these two bad teams by a lot to the point where the younger guys can play like a bunch of these games in real action time? That would be about the best Notre Dame could do, is win by a lot and let younger guys that could help on future teams play a lot. That's the best we could do. Other than that, I'm out of answers. That's as good as you could do.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, you're talking, and I'm ready to ask you: is there anybody out there in the hinterlands in our group that knows how to get that game the Saturday after Thanksgiving?
Okay, there are people on Twitter that put out a few websites that like show streams of games or whatever, and I don't know. I don't think you have to pay for them. If you sniff around, you might be able to find one. And if I look into it, I can email you. The other thing is, people on YouTube stream all these games, it seems to me. I don't know if you could find a stream on YouTube that just shows the game. And I don't know all that. Fubo TV, get a free trial and cancel it. Now we're getting all this technology bullshit that I don't have patience for. There should,
Does Fubo even carry the dang thing?
Yeah, people are saying Fubo TV, get a free trial, cancel it. Sports Surge, people are writing Sports Surge. Sling TV has a free trial. It's just a matter of, do you want to do all that and sign up and cancel it? I don't know.
Yeah. You're not going to the game Saturday, are you?
Nope. I am not.
Okay.
You mean the wake? No, I don't have my dress clothes ready for the wake. So no, I won't be going.
Hey,
it's what it's going to feel like. It's what it's going to feel like. Senior day, everybody, we're not playing for anything. It's senior day. You hug your mom. It's your last game. You're not playing for anything. You're playing a bad team. The vibes are bad. I'm worried it's going to be like a funeral in there.
Yeah, well, it might be. Hopefully it's not at the end of the game, but
It can't be. They're bad, John. John, they're so bad. Like, they're literally one of the worst offenses in America by a million metrics. Like, dead last in sacks, allowed 40-something after 10 games. They've scored 21 or fewer for 7 games in a row. Like, their offense is bad. Like, our defense might be able to win this game no matter what our offense does. They're really bad. Really bad.
So you're willing to give the points, huh?
I mean, our offense is really bad too. If it's a 25-point spread, what are we going to win? 25-0? Like, I don't know. I can't trust the offense, Dr. John. That's the problem.
Yeah.
From here on out, I have no expectations of the offense. I can't. They're too inconsistent, too frustrating. Now you have injuries on the interior, and I don't know. They weren't playing great with the starters to begin with, in my opinion. So it's a mess.
Yeah.
It's just a mess. It's a bad place to be. It's a bad place to be.
Yeah. Do you know what you're going to do Saturday? Pre-game, post-game, or nothing?
I believe me and Goolsby are going to do a pre-game party on YouTube. Then I'll watch the game, and then I'll fire up the phone lines after. We're going to have a full schedule Saturday of a pre-game and a post-game. We'll do both.
All right. Good. Hey, I got to ask you one question. I'll turn you loose. It came up when I was watching on Monday. Somebody mentioned Wake, and immediately I thought about a column that used to be in I think it was in the Chicago Tribune. You're probably too young. Do you remember a column called "In the Wake of the News"?
I vaguely I remember the title. That's all.
Ask always Irish Senior. I'm sure he knows.
Yeah.
Anyway, at 1 o'clock, I get back on a plane to Montana. So, I'm gonna watch
safe
the
travels.
rest of the show, and then I'm out of there.
Safe travels, my friend. And we'll be in touch. Also, I did email you back something. Check that when you get a minute. I figured a couple things out. Check your email, all right?
Okay, will do. And you take care of yourself.
Yeah, I will.
No sharp objects.
I know. I'm struggling.
Right,
I'm struggling, doctor, but we're all in this together. And even when we're miserable, damn it, we have a good time with the group, don't we?
Yes, we do. We do.
All right, John.
Go Irish. See you on the flip side.
Yep, take care. People are saying Dr. John's flying private. He's got a jet. You know what I picture? What if Dr. John lives like Andrew Tate does or something? He's got like the private jets, a couple ladies walking him to his private plane and a Bugatti, puts the shades on. Dr. John's driving around. Oh, my God. V1 Rotate. Good to see you, my friend. The wide receiver room was overlooked last year. We just assumed Pine couldn't get them the ball. Hartman now has the same record as Pine did senior day last year. Maybe it's not the QBs. Get a real staff. The issue is, I believe it's all of it. That's a part of why this is so hard. Do you guys hear that little static? Or is that just in my headphone reverb? I hear like a little static on the line and it's bugging me. Anyways, what I wanted to say is a part of why this is so frustrating where we find ourselves is it's everything. It's everything. It's not just, I think I stopped it now. I don't hear that static now. Let me know, guys. I moved the wire around. Let me know. Now I got to sit here and be still. You know, I can't get anything to go my way. There's no way I could do this show and have to be still to not move the wire to get static. I can't sit still for 2 minutes. You kidding me? Anyways, the issue is it's everything. It's everything. It's the play caller that nobody trusts, that seems to have no vision. It's the quarterback that you're not getting what you thought you could get out of. It's the wide receiver room that's nowhere near reality. It's an offensive line that was supposed to be the strength of the team, but caved against every decent defense we faced. It's all of that. That's the problem. And all of those things intertwine into one another and they land in your lap and the grenade blows up. The grenade blows up in your lap. I remember Beano Cook. Beano Cook was an old Notre Dame guy, man. One of the first guys in the early 90s. I remember my dad and grandpa talk about Beano Cook. The good old boy. I remember him. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's bring up Andrew, see what we got. Good morning, my friend. What's going on?
Hey, John. How's it going?
Rough. Nobody's in a good mood, man. Everybody's mad at everything.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to help you out because I wanted to call in and be sort of critical of Freeman. I just have 2 points, one on OC, and then if you don't mind, I'd like to suggest a quarterback that we should target in the portal.
Certainly, man. Whatever you got, I'm here for it.
Yeah, one of your competitors kind of chastised me. I put a chat in where I said that I thought that Freeman was just really indecisive over the bye week. And the reason why I said that was I fully expected that Freeman was going to make a change at OC. I mean, Notre Dame's not like Auburn or something like that, who's hyperbolic and fires their coordinators all the time. But this was been a truly disappointing season. We had national championship aspirations, and it's the offense that's holding it back. So my expectation was that Freeman would not fire Parker right away, maybe take away his play calling duties, and just signal to the to the world that hey, we're going to find a new offensive coordinator. And he didn't do that. The other thing he didn't do is, like you would expect, that he's hearing all the noise around Parker in the offense. And if he was going to stick with Parker, I would expect Dan to have guts to say, hey, you know what? I took the bye week. I reviewed all the film on the offense, and Parker's my guy for 2024. And why I think it's lame that he didn't do one or the other is he has been saying, for the last 3 weeks, and then confirmed it in the press conference, that we're going to the portal to get a quarterback. And so my question is, why would a good quarterback want to go play for Notre Dame right now? You either are going to get Parker, who I don't know, depending on who you trust, Goolsby or other pundits, either played a role or is the reason that Hartman's reputation is totally in the mud now, or you're going to play for some unknown offensive coordinator if Freeman decides at the end of the season he wants to make a switch. I just felt there's a lot of issues with Notre Dame's schedule, but this bye week was really well timed if you were going to make a switch, because what you could do is you make the switch and then you start back channeling for offensive coordinators. You have somebody hired, for the first week right after the last snap on Thanksgiving weekend. That's when portal season starts. People start making moves in the first week of December. You don't want to be doing an offensive coordinator search at that same exact time. That just leaves too many balls up in the air. So I think Goolsby is right. I think he's going to roll with Parker, but I still think it was even lame on his part to not even say, hey, you know what? He's my guy for 2024. I mean, how much more data do you need to see? We played 10 games. Our offense really hasn't looked good against Power 5 competition, with the exception of the second half against NC State. I don't know how much more information you need to make a decision. So, I mean, that's my first point. I think he's indecisive, and it's another decision-making issue with Marcus Freeman.
Okay, man, I've been thinking about this every different way from Saturday, how it all connects, and with the portal guy they're looking for, how this all connects. Do you think it's possible he'll make a change, knows he wants to make a change, but is playing this out to be respectful because it's one of his friends, and Marcus feels bad about the way this has gone and how the hiring went and all the weird stuff, and he's playing it out? And then after the Stanford game, we'll hear something then, and he doesn't want to do it, make it a big deal while there's still games going on, and that's not the Notre Dame usual pathway. Do you think that's possible?
I mean, I guess it's possible, but for example, Nick Saban knew he was going to replace Callahan. at the end of the year. But he didn't announce it because he knew that Callahan had a job lined up with the New England Patriots. One way or another, he was either going to be a quarterback's coach or the offensive coordinator for New England. So he sat on that and let him kind of gracefully leave Alabama. So, like, I can understand if he was going to do that. And, you know, because he knew that he didn't want to hurt Parker's ability to land with a new team. But I just think there's priorities here. You know what I mean? It's like he's got to look out. He's not Nick Saban.
Yeah.
He is on his rookie contract with Notre Dame. And, you know, my only comment on the next two games is he better win those games. Because if he loses to Wake Forest or Stanford, the pitchforks are going to be for Freeman, not for Parker.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So I just would say that why are you even messing around? Signal to everybody, signal to your AD, signal to your fans that you know what the heck is going on.
Yeah.
Because right now I'm sort of questioning, like, does he even know what is going on?
Well,
like,
do you believe when Freeman gets up there and says, you know, I don't have a problem with what we're running, it's the execution? There's problems with both. There's problems with what you're running, what you're not running, and the execution of it. He can't believe that, right? Isn't that just what coaches are told to say in a presser? He can't possibly only have a problem with the execution when you look at our offense, right? Like, come on.
I guess. I don't know. You know, what I worry about Marcus Freeman, and I think a lot of the Marcus Freeman supporters in the chat are going to be mad at this, is, you know, there are coaches out there like Will Muschamp, and to a certain extent, Mario Cristobal, who's much more successful than Will Muschamp, that are good coaches, really understand the defensive side of the ball. They are A-plus recruiters, but they have no feel for the offensive side of the ball. I mean, look at Will Muschamp's career. He was like the coach in waiting at Texas. Florida paid him a ton of money at the time to go be the head coach. And at no point did he have any really good feel for the offensive side of the ball. Then he gets hired by South Carolina, and the same deal. Like, he put together some really like top 20 defenses, but they always just ran some bland, terrible offense, and he got fired. So I think you always have to worry with these defensive-minded guys, like Pat, your friend, and your co-host. Like, he always talks about Buddy Ryan and the 1985 Bears. Talk about a guy who just like was a true defensive coordinator and just really, you know, never could get it right as a head coach. I just think that with certain defensive-minded coaches, they don't have the right feel, and I'm starting to be concerned that Freeman might fall in that category.
I think it would be hard to say that isn't a fair concern. The way I feel like is, instead of things tightening up through the year, they've kind of loosened up. And that makes me nervous. Like, all these strands with the program are kind of a little loose here. And I don't like that. That is a trend line that makes me uncomfortable. And I don't know how you tighten things back up other than you better win the 3 games you have left at a minimum. Yeah, these are uncertain times, Andrew. I'm really uncomfortable with where we're at. And then what do you make of going back in the portal? What do you think about all this? Like, they want 4 guys. Yeah, I think they're worried one won't stick. Like, what do you make of this? Because here we go again. And then how does that tie in with the OC or not? There's just question on layer on question on another layer here.
Yeah. So honestly, I think the only thing you should take away from the portal, he was going to go to the portal since the Louisville loss. The only way he wasn't going to go to the portal is if he was a playoff contending team this year, got a contract extension, which would have allowed him to have a rebuilding year and roll the dice with a young quarterback. That isn't going to happen. So he's basically on 2 underperforming years going into his 3rd year, where a lot of coaches at most Power 5 schools, if you don't perform your 3rd year and you have 3 unsuccessful years in a row, you could be gone. So I think it makes total sense that he would go to the portal. If I'm Angeli, unless I really value getting the degree from Notre Dame, I'm transferring to Rutgers. He basically is telling you that you're not the guy. Okay. So, like, see the writing on the wall. I don't know. I kind of like Gouldsby. I don't think Angeli's the guy, but I mean, that's the writing on the wall. And then, but I think it's a good thing. And honestly, I have a suggestion for who they should get as a quarterback. I don't know if this guy's going to hit the portal, but there's been rumors that USC has been trying to talk with Jalen Daniels, back channel Jalen Daniels, who's the injured quarterback for Kansas right now. And I think a quarterback like that is who I would target in the portal. And the reason being is this wide receiver room situation is not going to get solved overnight. I think that we'll continue to be more talented, but just because of the restraints that Notre Dame puts on the transfer portal, you're just not going to solve this problem overnight. You're going to have to roll with these young guys. And so what better way to support the wide receiver room, take pressure off of them, if you have a quarterback who can who can convert on third down with his legs. You know, I mean, you even saw it in the Clemson game. We should have had more sort of designed quarterback runs. It was wide open. And they were backbreaking, you know, when a quarterback scrambles and gets the first down. So I would target Jalen Daniels if he's not available. I know a lot of people in the chat won't like this, but Will Howard from Kansas, he's not a sideline to sideline speed, but he can run downhill. And I just think that if anybody watched that Kansas State Texas game, that guy's got guts. He almost pulled off a huge upset on the road at Austin. I think he's going to be available because that backup quarterback, seems primed to. He's a guy that Notre Dame targeted, Avery Johnson, I think his name is. So I think I would go after those two, with the idea being with a running quarterback. We've seen it with Notre Dame in the past. You can work two quarterbacks if one of them is a running quarterback. We saw it with Everett Golson and Tommy Reese. We saw it a little bit with Brandon Wimbush and Ian Book, and we certainly saw it with Jack Cohn and Tyler Buckner. So that's what I would target. I think a running quarterback would help you get some relief to those wide receivers so they don't have to always make a third down conversion. Plus, Notre Dame's not going to have, I think, or I shouldn't say not going to have, there's a question mark if they're going to have Mitchell Evans ready to go for College Station. An ACL injury is pretty serious, especially for some guy that big. So how are you going to convert on third down? That's what I'm thinking about. And I think if you can get past Texas A&M, get past a road game at Purdue, and then beat Louisville at home, you might even be able to hand it off to Kenny Minchie to finish it out. So that's what I would do if I was Freeman.
Yeah, man, there's just no clear and easy path, and a lot of uncertainty and big decisions here coming up. There's a lot of loose ends, man. People are pushing back on you saying, oh, you want to go to the portal and then get a guy that's always injured, then he's going to get injured, and then we're in the same spot. That's their concern with honestly, that guy.
You know what Notre Dame needs? I'm fine with going with a youth movement if you've got the right personnel. That's the first thing. And then the second thing is, I think that fans are too short-sighted. They see Texas A&M as this total team in flux. They are potentially going to pay their next coach $15 million a year. I read that was from either Pete Thamel or Bruce Feldman. Those guys know what they're talking about. When you pay someone $15 million a year, they're going to get an awesome coach, and then they're going to spend in the portal. And you can just watch what Brian Kelly did his first year at LSU. They took a ton of really good guys from the portal, including a portal quarterback who's going to probably win the Heisman this year. So the team that Texas A&M team that is right now is not going to be that same team. So I think you better have a veteran quarterback going into College Station. And so get us through that game, and then maybe we can do a handoff to Minchie, further on down the line. But don't do what we did to Tyler Buckner at Ohio State, where we told some young guy to come in and win some huge game on the road. I mean, it's just a really tough way to start your career at Notre Dame. Maybe Minchie's the guy. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just think that ease into it. Don't try to force these guys to do something, because you see all the time where you force a young guy to do something and then they just lose all their confidence and they never achieve what they could have achieved. So yeah.
Man, there's just no. How do you feel about this? I'll wrap it up with this. How do you feel about the concept? And Goolsby and I were talking about this the other night. The concept of people want the ultimate judgment on Freeman to be when he can plant the flag in the ground with one of his own young recruited quarterbacks and grow and develop and get the clock running with that. people seem to be waiting for that anchor, like planting the flag where it's his guy, not a transfer dude, not a guy here, but like his guy. What do you think about that? I understand that, where you're like, they want to see it when it's Carr or Deuce, like with an actual quarterback. Like that's where it feels people want to have that. Is that fair or not? I get it in my mind.
I just think it's so year to year with Notre Dame fans, and I just think they get, and then we're too myopic on our own team. I would just encourage people to look around the country and look at the top 25. Like, yes, the top teams do homegrown their quarterbacks, but these are well-established A-list coaches. The second tier, the teams in the second tier, which Notre Dame is not in the second tier right now. They're in the third or fourth tier right now. But the second tier teams have transfer quarterbacks. And I think that absolutely you want to be able to develop a system where you can just home grow your quarterbacks, and these are going to be 5-star guys like CJ Stroud, guys like Bryce Young. But if you don't recruit that caliber of player, you better make sure that they have the next step down is to make sure that they're ready to play. I mean, very few people are ready to come in and play as a true freshman, certainly, but very few quarterbacks are ready to play and be really good as a true sophomore. So I just think that I get where the angst is. We want to see homegrown talent. We're excited that Marcus Freeman is recruiting, supposedly recruiting a higher caliber quarterback. I do take exception with that because I think Brian Kelly actually did recruit okay at quarterback. He just couldn't develop them. But I just think that don't rush it because I have a memory. Do you remember 2007 with Charlie Weiss? He switched Jimmy Clausen in at halftime of the first game. Yeah. What did we win? 2 games that year? I mean, it can get really ugly if you have and then look at Chip Kelly. You mentioned Chip Kelly. Starts Dante Moore, says, hey, you know what? We're going to have a rebuilding year. Well, guess what? Chip Kelly's going to be fired. I mean, it's just crazy. I think people love the backup quarterback and they love the star recruit and just don't realize that unless it's the guy, like a Quinn Ewers or something like that, who's just awesome. These guys very rarely are good. They're freshman or sophomore year. They need time to grow, and then you hand them the reins. So. Yeah,
man. And the problem with all that is you just keep kicking the can down the road. And then how many more years is it going to be? But people want a Carr Deuce quarterback competition. How many years out is that? I'm going to stroke out way before that year. We got 2 or 3 years? Like, we got to get this thing going.
I really don't. I really don't. I think it's 2025 is going to be the year that you can circle where you can see all of Freeman's recruiting from the at least on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah. I
mean, because you're gonna have Minchie, who's a 3rd-year player. You're gonna have CJ Carr, who's a 2nd-year player. They can battle it out then. The wide receiver core is going to be much, much better. I mean, the Flores and the other 2 receivers are going to be juniors at that point. Plus, you're going to have Cam Williams. You're going to be loaded. You're going to be loaded at running back. You're going to have Love, and you're going to have Keidron Young. That's the year when you can go. It's just there's one more stopgap year, and I get that people are frustrated with getting a transfer QB, but I'm not the only one who thinks this way. Freeman thinks this way. Freeman, he's the guy at practice, and I don't think he thinks Angeli or Minchie are ready. So what can I tell you?
Andrew, somebody put in the chat, I'm waiting for Joe Montana's grandson in another 10 years. Like we had him, we had his son. We're going to get the grandson next in another 10 years. Hey, man, I appreciate your willingness to call in and calmly talk through some of this stuff. The angst is high. The frustration's high. It's not ideal, but it's where we find ourselves, man. I really appreciate that.
And then
appreciate it.
Just one last thing to everybody who's bashing me in the chat. I would be okay with going with Kenny Minchie. My issue is, does anybody here trust that Gino Guidugli and Jared Parker know what to do with them? I would say absolutely not. And go look at Gino Guidugli's time at Cincinnati. You're really going to give Gino Guidugli the credit for Desmond Ridder? You're not going to give Mike Denbrock the credit for the guy who's the offensive coordinator for LSU right now, who's going to help his quarterback win a Heisman? Gino Guidugli had his shot he had a higher recruited quarterback, Ben Bryant, and that guy stunk at Cincinnati. So it's just like he has no track record, and Jared Parker certainly doesn't have a track record. If you had Andy Ludwig, if you had, a guy who I really like, Greg Roman, or, someone like that, who knows how to develop a quarterback who's been around the block a few times, then I'd say absolutely start Minchie. So I'll end on that. Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, we're going to see. We're going to get some answers. We're going to see the final results in these two games, and then we're going to get ultimate decisions from Freeman on that OC situation. There's just a lot of moving parts, and I got a feeling this is going to be a winter full of questions and drama and everything else. Andrew, thank you for your participation, your loyalty to the program, and calmly talking me through some of that. Thanks, man.
Hey, thanks. Thanks for letting me talk.
No problem. Have a good one. Man, I could just hear it in people's voices. They're just down. 703, you're talking to me. Good morning.
Hi. Hey.
What's up?
John?
Yeah.
How you doing, John?
I'm frustrated.
How you doing? I'm sorry. This is the first time I haven't called you in a while. You talked to my son about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It was me.
What's going on, man? How are you handling this Notre Dame anxiety? Everybody's in a bad mood. How are you processing the end of the year here with the big decisions Freeman has and the games we got to win yet?
Well, this has probably been the most disappointing year for me personally since 2006. Because I kind of had expectations in 2006 for the second year of Charlie Weiss.
Yeah.
This year I had expectations because I was having supposedly a professional quarterback come in here to play. He's a 6-year veteran who's going to help cover up the flaws that we might have in the receivers, or who won't make silly decisions that Tyler Buckner would make, like he did in a bowl game, and the Marshall game. Then in the first 4 games, I was like, wow, maybe we're going to be okay. And the Ohio State game was just a killer. I sat in my chair for about half an hour, didn't even move.
Yeah.
And the whole 4 or 5 days, I cannot believe we lost that game. And once we beat you, in the Louisville game, you could see coming because you're going to lose one of those games sometime. But our quarterback didn't play that well. He really didn't play that well against Duke. I know he had a great drive at the end, but he missed guys. Tyree dropped the ball against Louisville. USC, we played okay offensively, but I don't know. And the quarterback has made rookie decisions last week against Clemson. You don't throw that interception, man. The first one, it's right there. Then he had Great House in the end zone. He misses. Then he has the guy come out, slip it out of the backfield. The ball gets tipped out of the line like the Ohio State game. Throw it over his head a little bit, bro. It's a touchdown. But I don't know, John.
So where does that leave us, man? Where does that leave us? Like, we have that frustration with how the Hartman thing went, and for a lot of reasons, people are over it. It failed. It didn't work. We didn't reach our goals and whatever, and he's not playing that great. He was not able to raise the entire wide receiver room like I was praying for. Like, none of that happened. Where does it leave you now, man? He's going to start the last 2 games, but I want to see other guys play. I want to see you win and try and be able to do that. This isn't what the end of November should be like. This should be increasing in energy. What New Year's 6 are we in? Can we sneak into the playoff? That should be the end of this road, not this death march we're on.
Right. The floor for me right now where Notre Dame is 10 wins in New Year's 6 bowl. That's my floor. And we failed this year. And I know a lot of people are killing. Let's look at the offensive coordinator we have this year, right? A lot of people are killing the guy, but he should never have been here in the first place. He wasn't the guy. The guy who the coach wanted, the administration screwed him over on.
Yep.
And the thing about Marcus is he got saddled with Tommy. Tommy was hired before him. And Tommy's looking better and better every week. It's kind of ironic. But he got saddled with him. Let the guy sink or swim with his guy. But this administration's handcuffing the guy. And how much longer is he going to put up with it? And he's recruiting better at a higher level than Brian Kelly did. Look at these 3 recruiting classes we commented. Look at the running back room since he's got here. And you can see the players are longer and faster. And they're bigger. But you won't let him get the most important guy. He needs the veteran offensive coordinator. who can cover up a coach learning on the job. He got that on defense. But why wouldn't they pay $2 million, John? $2 million.
Yeah.
We got all this money at Notre Dame. We did it for the basketball coach. We bought everybody out for the basketball coach. Well, which of the programs drive the school? Which one's going to make you more money?
Yeah.
Which one can legitimately have a shot at winning a national championship? The basketball team or the football team?
I know. There's a lot of
And that's
frustration.
what drives me crazy.
Well, you don't feel like
and that's what drives me crazy.
they're all, it feels like sometimes they're all not pulling from the same end of the rope. And it's already so hard to win in Notre Dame. The last thing we can afford to do is make it harder on ourselves internally. And it feels like that happens sometimes with the hiring and the process. It's super frustrating. There's no easy way out. And the other thing, man, is that's all true. And I've expressed my frustrations with not supporting your young guy with the guys he thinks he wants and needs. But the other side of the coin is now we're in this position where nobody wants to hear that excuse. Like, that's how, you know what I mean? Now that we're in this situation, nobody wants to just say, well, let's blame the admin because it's a bad spot.
Right. And I understand that anger. But to solve things, sometimes you got to take a step back and just don't do things through emotion. You got to see, is this guy playing with a full deck? He's not having a chance to sink or swim with a full deck.
So
they're holding his hand back on a lot of things.
Do you think that he's going to double down on Parker? Or do you think after the Stanford game when they're out recruiting in California or whatever, that we get announced that there's going to be a change there? Or is he going to double down and literally say, one more, we're going to redo this thing next year and it's going to be great? What's he going to do? This fan base is going to go, they're going to go ballistic if he comes back. They are.
Then I would start having to question Marcus. Is it because he's doing it for a buddy or is he doing it for his job? I think Marcus is smart enough to say, listen, man, I love you. You're my friend.
Yeah.
This is all about me.
Yeah.
Okay.
It has to be. Ultimately, it has to be. Ultimately, it's his head coaching legacy on the line.
Right. And that's the reason he has to do that. And if he doesn't, I'll be disappointed. Now let's talk about the quarterback stuff. So we're going to go to the transfer portal and maybe get a medium road quarterback to come here. Really? Look at Ohio State. They finally let the young guy. He hasn't played great, but he's getting better every week. So we're just going to push it off to 2025, like one of your other callers said, and have this year we're going to compete with a guy who has no real game experience. Next year's schedule is so conducive of bringing in a young quarterback and protecting them. The Texas A&M game is going to be a weird, hard game, but you don't know who their coach is going to be, and they're going to be fired up. But the rest of the schedule is manageable. You can afford to lose 2 games next year and somehow maybe get into the playoffs. Why not get the quarterback developed? If it's Minchie, if whoever it is, I don't think it's Angeli. God bless the kid. But it's Minchie or if it's Carr. Find out which one it is. So when 2025 comes around, when you have his 4th recruiting class coming in, when he has all the receivers that we're getting now and the running backs, we can compete. Instead of saying, you know what, we're going to get another Band-Aid on, and we're going to get these guys in for a couple games here or there next year. No, they should be playing next year. Let the best guy win. Bring a guy in who's played, but he knows he ain't going to get the guy unless there's injury, who has a lot of experience.
See, the other issue is though, what grad transfer portal QB wants to leave where they're at and come to Notre Dame and not start? That's the issue. I don't know what guy wants to come in here and compete, and then if he has a bonus year, ride the bench at Notre Dame. Like, that's another part of this that's hard for me to get. Like, if you're going to go to the portal, what do they tell that guy? Because what guy wants to transfer year and then maybe not play their final year of eligibility, hold a clipboard in Notre Dame Stadium? Big deal.
Right. I agree. That's the reason I want to bring in a guy. But I'm not going to guarantee another guy at the job.
Right.
Let the guy best man win. I'm all about best players. If I was playing offensive line, coach, I'd say, you know what, you're not doing it this week. Whoever, I'm just using a player on. We're going to have open competition, see who's going to play.
Yeah.
Or the receivers. And let's get to the receivers for a second, because I know I'm taking too much of your time. I was listening to a couple of podcasts, other ones besides yours, which I miss your longer ones because I work so much I can't see your YouTube, so I only catch your smaller ones, which I enjoy, but I miss the longer version. So if somehow you can get that on Apple, I would appreciate that. Just for me.
Yeah,
but
yeah. It's hard to dub over, buddy.
Dude,
it's hard to dub over the ones that are like 2-hour streams. It takes a while for it to it gets all messed up. So if I can find a faster way, I will.
I miss hearing your 2 long ones you used to have.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that much. And you're always great. But the receiver coach, you're killing the guy. Goes, well, he's not developing receivers. The other guy was better. Am I wrong? Has Stuckey only really had one recruiting class?
Yeah,
that was
man.
this year. It's when he got hired. Tobias is already in the class, and everybody else dropped out. And the year before that, with the other guy, we had 3 guys transfer, and the freshman guys have got hurt because of injuries now. We never had a hamstring problem until Bayless left. So is that the receivers coach?
Hey, I've asked that question too.
Because we don't have that.
I asked that question too. Is that fair of me to ask? Do we have an unusually large amount of soft tissue hamstring pull type injuries? I've been asking that the last couple of weeks. I don't know whether that's random or not, or if it ties in, but I don't know, dude. That wide receiver thing's so frustrating because it's a problem that starts like 6 years ago. Like literally, that's why I'm so mad about the wide receiver problems, because it was a problem 5 or 6 years in the making, and it's all come home to roost now, and there's no easy way out other than recruit, stack recruits on recruits. I don't know what else to do.
And Kelly, that was Kelly's gift when he left us, because he left us nothing there.
Yep.
And the other guy did it. And 2 of the best recruits, that receivers coach guy is a starting safety for us, and one of our best corners.
Yeah.
You know, so we don't have nothing that guy developed, and when we had him, he never played them. It took him to the junior year. At least we're playing the young guys, but maybe we're overworking them. I mean, 83's been out the whole year almost, and he was supposed to be our stable veteran guy.
It really feels like they mismanaged that hamstring. He clearly tried to come back too early, and he's essentially missed the entire year. And that was another domino that fell in the wide receiver room. And then guys had to switch positions, and then Greathouse wasn't as effective. It's just been a cascade of one bad thing over the next, and the dominoes all fall down against us. It's just, I'm losing my patience with all of this. Why can't Notre Dame just have an operation all put together like a normal team you see on Saturday? Why?
That's the whole. Well, let me get to the offense coordinator. You sound like I was defending him, but I'm not. Earlier when I was saying he shouldn't be here. But when I watch these other schools play, some of them don't even like the lower teams in the ACC, even they have like one or two fast guys, they always get their players in space.
Yeah.
We never put our athletic guys in space.
Nope. Why?
We ran Tyree like 3 times on a jet sweep. He should be getting 1 or 2 of those a game.
Now, let me ask you this.
Now,
wait. Now you're on it.
It's behind them.
Now you're on this. Here's my thought.
Here's
my thought. Not only Tyree, but when you have like no wide receivers, the next best thing you could do is find ways to get the guys that are elite athletes in space more involved. That means I need Love more involved in the short pass game, handoffs, end arounds, whatever. I need JD Price involved in that. I need Estime involved. We have some talent. Get it out there. I need those guys more involved. They make plays. Find a way to get more of them out there at the same time and give them the ball. Instead of having wide receivers out there that aren't going to block, they're not going to catch, we're not going to do anything, and Hartman can't throw it to him anyways, apparently. Maybe year 7 or 8, Hartman, it'll all click in year 7 or 8. I'm losing my mind.
Exactly. And the thing is, don't you think it'd be a defensive coach's nightmare if you had Love coming out of the backfield or lining up in the slot once in a while? You had to either put a safety or a linebacker on that guy, or have him come out of the backfield. You know, like last week when we played Clemson, you remember we kept on running that sweep, the long run to the side each time, we kept on getting good yardage. Why not fake the handoff, have the quarterback roll out and bring somebody across? Right? We haven't seen, why don't we ever do that? It just drives me crazy. We don't even think of everything. Well, we'll keep running right. Why can't you work something off that?
Yeah.
I watch every other team fake the handoff with guy roll back, hit the guy going out to the flat.
Yep.
Nobody's around him.
How about this? How about this? How about like a third and medium, quick slant to one of your athletic receivers right over the middle, in stride, right at the line of scrimmage, and he catches it and goes? Why can't Notre Dame run that when every other team in America runs it multiple times a week and has success with it? Why can't Notre Dame do it? It's an easy throw right over the middle with inside leverage. I don't understand it.
Or when they staff the line about the blitz, like there's been a couple of times where they gave us a zero blitz, right? And we never had a guy come up behind it.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, they're bringing everybody up. One of you guys are going to be the quick guy over the middle.
Yeah, it's just a hot. It's a hot when you see that pressure. Everybody in America can run it. We can't. I'm struggling, man.
We don't even try it.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't even try it.
Exactly. And the other thing is, tell me if you agree with this. When we do run pass plays, 95% of them seem to be plays where we throw it to a guy and that's the only yardage you get. Nothing is like moving. Nothing is like the catch and then the run in stride on an angle. Like everything is like turn around and sit and the ball's there, or a throw to you and you're out of bounds. There's no action building on the action. And I don't get it. It's miserable to watch.
Right. And that's where Tyree should be getting those balls.
Oh,
and I like him going deep sometimes. I know he dropped a couple this year.
Man.
But it's like, he should be coming off the line. You hitting him. He's a running back. He could take the first hit. Right?
Man.
It's like the last Clemson game. What killed me about Sam is when we're near our goal lines, they're looking at TV on the right side. They called a screen pass to him underneath, remember? And Hartman throws it over his head really high. He hits him. He only has one guy to beat. It's just like, dude, you're a 6-year guy. Make this throw.
Yeah, it's rough. It's rough, man. So what do you want to see as we wrap up here? Thanks for touching base, man. Miss talking to you. What do you want to see Notre Dame do in the remaining 2 games? Let's leave the bowl game out of it because we don't know the circumstances, who we're playing, who's going to opt in and out.
I don't think we want to play LSU.
Me neither. No, I don't think you want to play LSU either. Like Notre Dame fans don't want to hear that. This ain't the year you want to play LSU. And I know their defense is terrible. I still think it would shut down our offense. So I don't feel good about that at all.
If we had our offense from early in the year when it's clicking, and I knew Sam had his head on right, I would take it.
Yeah, I don't even want to. I don't even want to think about that. But here's where I'm at for the remaining 2 games. I want Notre Dame to win by a lot, enough that the younger guys can play in snaps that are real, not garbage time, but real play. That would accomplish winning out and starting to develop the guys that might be on teams that aren't already dead. That's what I need to happen. It's the best thing I could come up with. That's it.
Yeah, I agree. I want to see more. I want to see the offensive line improve. I know we got a couple of new starters. This is my problem. The offensive lines regressed to what was 2 years when they were catching.
Yep.
They're not moving like they were last year, their feet. They did it a little bit early in the year. You can see even Joe Alt's regressed. And Fisher, he's regressed. And even Carell's really regressed this year. I mean, I'm going to give Rudolph one more year, but I don't understand why people don't. The simplest thing to see on the offensive line are their feet moving? And our feet aren't moving. We're catching. And then what killed me, John? I know I'm taking too much of it. Is when we played Ohio State, that was the first game against a good team because I can't remember that we actually ran the ball when we wanted to. And that gave me so much hope that the offensive line was going to take off. And they've been a disaster since.
Yeah.
It's so frustrating to me.
Yeah, it's frustrating. And the other thing is, here's the other thing you got to keep in mind now. A lot of those linemen now are on their 3rd offensive line coach. And I suspect, I wonder if that's a part of this, to where there might be 3 different ways of how to do things put into those guys' minds that overlap with literally 3 O-line coaches. And then like where we're at with that, I don't know, man. Maybe there's a philosophical difference between the guys Rudolph inherited but didn't recruit. I don't know, man. But the offense, spare me the O-line I don't even want to hear about it. I don't even have the energy to get mad about it anymore. You're not good enough. You're not tough enough. You're not even big enough in the middle to be real. Like, I'm very, very frustrated. Give me Jagasaw. Give me Craig. Like, give me these guys. Give me Gerby. Let me have these young guys. I don't care anymore. I'm sick of what we're getting.
Exactly. Last thing. Let's talk about Marcus for a second. I love Marcus. I believe in Marcus. I think if he just stay out of his way, let him do what he wants, we're going to get there. I really believe it. But the thing is, if I could have a beer with him off the record, I would like to know what is his offensive philosophy.
Does he have one?
Ground and pound.
Does he have one?
Yeah, well, this is what I'm going to find out. Are you right now? It looks like you're the Jim Tressel way because your first year you're very limited at quarterback. Second year you're limited because you didn't get the coordinator you wanted to take the next step with, and you had the receiver room injured all year. But if you look at his recruiting, looks like he's getting better athletes, play wide receiver if they sign, and running backs. So is he just doing this right now because this is what he has? Yeah. Or do you really understand you're going to evolve like Nick Saban did? Yeah. Hey, I can't play these 13, 10 games anymore, like 17, 14 against Ohio State. We got to score 41 and win 41-38.
Yeah.
Which one are you trying to get to?
And the other problem, other problem I have philosophically is he's on record saying, I want to be an O-line driven, program, run first and all that. His philosophy that he came in with was that O-line driven mentality. I have two responses to that. One is, are we sure that's what he wants to do? Or did he look at the personnel in this situation and know that's the only thing Notre Dame can do in the beginning of his tenure? That would be one question I have. And then number two is, the other question would be, you want to be an O-line driven run-based program, but your O-line isn't good enough to do that. You got to be a dominant O-line if you want to set it up to where people know you're going to want to run and you're going to do it anyways when they know you're doing it. You're not good enough to do that right now, even if you wanted to. So if you want to be O-line driven, you better be elite at it, and you're not close. I got problem on problem.
Yeah, because you remember when Lou Holtz, how many times do we have 15 play drives to run out games at the end?
I'm just none of this is where it needs to be. Hey man, a really good touch of base with you. Wide ranging conversation. Thank you, my friend.
Have a wonderful Thanksgiving, John, and a breath of health to everybody. And we'll be okay. Sometimes it's darkest before the dawn. We'll get there.
Thank you, man. Thank you very much. Give me a call again before the holidays. We'll touch base. 720-618 coming up. We're moving slower than Lou Altz. Yeah. Put Lou out there. Let him run around with that little pipe of his. John, why are you chickening out? All that Kelly talk. It isn't a matter of like those guys against each other. It's a matter of Kelly wasn't winning anything at ND, and now he's at LSU. And I envisioned the first matchup of Notre Dame LSU with the new coaches being with something on the line. That's the problem I'm having with this. Like, I'm so annoyed with how Notre Dame's playing. To match up with Kelly in this year would be really frustrating because they're not elite. We're not elite. I don't want to fight for a month with the LSU people over who's less bad. Like, think of how sad that is. I'm going to have to deal with the LSU people every day for a month and a half leading into a meaningless bowl game to debate who's less worse. I want that matchup when the argument with the fans is who's elite, who's getting to the next level, not who's got 3 losses or 4 in the Camping World Bowl. Like, I'm not interested in that. And the other part is, if you played them and we're a mess, even if Daniels doesn't play, LSU can beat Notre Dame. I have no confidence in Notre Dame. The offense is so bad. I just can't. I don't like it. And it's like, there's just no easy answers, you guys. I'm just frustrated with everything. And the whole Notre Dame, LSU, and then who's going to play and who's not going to play. And it's like, is Daniels out? And then Nussmeier will be in there. John, I addressed this in my USA Today article. Interesting you bring that up. Dr. John says, what's wrong with being the 16th ranked scoring offense? I'm going to answer that. Who the points are coming against. That's what's wrong with it. I literally wrote about this last night. It's weird you bring it up. When I looked up the rankings to break down Wake, Notre Dame 16th, 36.8 points a game. 36.8 a game, 16th in the country. And then you look at where the defense is at and you're like, wow, we're cooking. The problem is you got to break down where those points are coming from. And a lot of those points are coming against the awful teams we played and or special teams. Or not special teams, some special team, but the defense and all that. That's the issue. And there's no way for me to not see it that way to where that's misleading. You average 46 points a game in the first month of the season, those 4 games, because you played nobody. And then you score 14 in the biggest game of the year at home against Ohio State. That ain't good enough. Like, it's not good enough. I get that averages are averages, but it does matter. What you're putting up against good defenses is nothing. Nothing. So that's the problem with that. Break out who it goes against. Any real defense we played, we had no answer. Any real defense we played, we had no answer. Unbelievable. 720. Where do you want to go?
George Strait or some shit. Live like a god or something.
Hello.
Well, you know, I'm like pretty Catholic. I'm like, well, I just said it was like you. Yeah. Like, I can't live like that. Yeah.
I don't know what's going on there, but that man's at a party or something. I thought there was somebody snoring on the line, and then I thought they were partying. I don't know what's going on. I have no idea. 618, let's make it great. Good morning. What's going on?
Hey, well, hey, how you doing, John?
Stressed out.
Yeah, man. It's been kind of depressing for me this year, man, because the way I picked it over the summer, man, and even worse, man, SC is even worse than what, you know what I'm saying, in a worse situation than Notre Dame is, man.
Yeah. There's no easy solution, man. Everybody's frustrated. You have games you got to win. You know, everybody's mad about 3 losses. Try 4 on for size. Like, you need to win these games, and people want to see some development. It's a frustrating grind to the finish line, man. How are you thinking about this and processing it?
Man, I don't understand what's going on with the quarterback situation, man. I mean, we tried a portal quarterback this year that supposed to have been the number 1 quarterback in the portal system, man, and it really didn't work out. Everybody want to blame everything, but man, he's holding the ball way too long. Man, I go back and I watch some of the highlights. He's holding the ball too long, man. He's not. It'd be receivers downfield that's wide open. He won't even throw him the ball. I don't know what went on and got into Hartman's head after the Ohio State game, but man, it didn't look good after the Ohio State game.
Yeah, and you don't. Isn't it probably a little bit of everything? Hartman isn't as good as we all hope. The offense coordinator struggling. The interior line struggles at times, and there aren't many options to throw to. You mix it all together, and maybe this is just what you get.
Yeah, right. Right. And I just think, man, we don't know what Gino Guidugli could develop if we keep going in the portal trying to get starting quarterbacks, man. It's gonna be this every year that how is this guy gonna turn out? How is this guy gonna turn out?
Yeah.
When they're not getting a chance to even the best way of developing is getting on the field. That's the way you develop. You don't develop them sitting them on the bench behind a guy, and then when he struggles, then you get to your press conference and you have every excuse and don't know what to say.
Yeah.
Freeman, you got to. It got to start with Freeman. Like, we do not need a portal quarterback, man. We got 3 quarterbacks right now.
I think he
We
wants
got 3
4.
quarterbacks right
He
now.
wants 4. He's on the record. He wants 4.
Well, it can't be like it was last spring, man. It got to be a true quarterback, including Carr. I mean, I know Carr be a true freshman, but including Carr, you got to have a true quarterback competition.
Man,
let the best man win.
They might end up with 3 anyways, because what's to say that you get another 4th guy and then one of these guys, Angeli or whatever, sees the writing on the wall and is like, okay, I get it. I'm not going to be the starter ever with Deuce and Carr coming behind me. I'm out of here. Like, even if they give 4, I don't know if they're going to start the season with 4. Another guy could leave seeing the writing on the wall. This is all touchy. And I don't know, man. I don't know.
I kind of got a feeling it's going to be Angeli who's going to leave. I mean, I think he leaves right after they, I think he leaves after the season, man. I don't think he stick around, man. And it's nobody's fault but Freeman's fault, because you're telling these guys we're bringing in a portal quarterback. I mean, I know you're not doing it behind their back, but you pretty much saying that you guys are not good enough.
Yeah.
You guys are not good enough to be our starting quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that is the message it sends, because if you knew you had your guy, then you don't have that problem. So I don't know, man. This is going to be it's going to be interesting. Do you think is he going to double down on Parker? Is he going to double down on another year of Parker, or maybe after the Stanford game when they're in California, do we get some release that they're going to part ways or do something else? What do you think is going to happen here?
And you move Parker back to where you really don't have that position. I think, man, I don't know, with Chip Kelly being out there, man, Chip Kelly is a better offensive coordinator than he is. And Chip Kelly is also known to have good quarterbacks, man, when he was at Oregon. So, it's up to what you need to do. If that was me, man, I'll be like, man, look, maybe we could revitalize Chip Kelly's career and go after Kelly, man, and maybe get Chip Kelly in here, man, to develop these quarterbacks and not go into the portal.
Hey, you're going to cause Irish PTSD saying there's another Kelly coming to Notre Dame. You're going to cause everybody's going to have a freak out there. They're going to go, wait, Kelly's coming back.
This Kelly offense is better than that Kelly offense ever was.
Oh, man. I don't know what's going to happen here, man. But eventually, don't you agree with me? Eventually, you're going to have to spike the flag in the ground, commit to a young quarterback, develop him, let the team grow with him and around him for a couple years, and then you build something good. I just think that's Notre Dame's most likely path to success. But who's that guy, and what year can you do it that way?
I think you go with Mincy for the next couple years. Lead it over to Carr, to lead over to Deuce. And who will be a better offensive coordinator for Deuce than Chip Kelly?
Yep. I don't know, man. And the other thing is, why would Chip Kelly, he thinks so much of himself, why would he come to Notre Dame as an OC? His ego won't allow him to do that.
Man, who else wanted?
I think his his ego's not going to allow him to do that. That's like a big step down for him.
John, who else will want him at this point?
I don't know, but I don't see him taking orders from a 37-year-old head coach either. I just don't think that's how his mind works.
Man, he's the one that put Oregon on the map for them 3 or 4 years that he was at Oregon.
Yeah.
He made Oregon really good. I mean, I think he was the offensive coordinator at Oregon before he became the head coach.
Yeah.
And, man, like I say, who would be better for Deuce? than Chip Kelly. You know.
Yeah, man. Deuce is going to have a lot of raw talent, but a lot of development to do when he gets here. So what do you
keep Gaduli where he's at?
Yeah.
You keep Gaduli where he's at, and you got Gaduli and you got Chip Kelly, man. What better combination would that be for Deuce and even Carr? Who will be what will be the better combination than Chip Kelly and Gaduli?
Yeah,
because man, I'm just being honest, man. Parker is not. I mean, I don't know if Parker running his own offense, if this is truly his offense, or this something that he had to do to please the Notre Dame fans, and it didn't work. So, man, maybe.
You know what it feels like, man?
Maybe.
You know what it feels like when you watch Parker's Notre Dame offense? It feels like the first video game console football games where you had 2 run plays and 2 passes plays to pick from. Like run up the middle, run around the edge, pass it out to the flat, throw it down. Like it just feels like you're so limited in what you could do. I hate it.
We need an offensive coordinator that's about 4 plays ahead of the other team's defense.
Yep. String it all together. Yeah, string it all together. Have one thing lead to the next. Set them up to set up the next thing. There is none of that foresight. I think he's so worried about getting one positive play, he cannot think ahead. I just don't think he's at that level.
And that's not how you coach offense,
right?
Man. You coach offense basically 4 plays ahead of the defense.
Yep, exactly.
You got to be ahead because the defense is always ahead of the offense. So you got to be way ahead of the defense.
Yeah, and set them up, bait them into things, set up things to lean on to then switch it up late. Like there's so many layers to that philosophically you never even get to with Notre Dame's offense. None of that fun philosophical cat and mouse game. I'm going to do this to make them do this to stop this. Then I'm going to go do this. Then I'm going to come back here. There is none of that.
And then I watched the press conference with him, and he was like, we only ran like 2 play action passes because they were playing man. That's the reason why you run play action pass, because they playing man defense.
Man, it's.
Oh my God. I mean, he's like, man, dude, either you go back to tight ends or just tight ends, or dude, it ain't going to work here.
Man, it's tough. It's tough. Hey, the other question is, how are you even going to watch the Stanford game? You get the Pac-12 network? Or are you going to bootleg it online like most people might have to? What you going to do?
Yeah, I got it through YouTube TV, but
there you go.
I don't know if I want to watch that game anyway.
Oh, it could be. Yeah, I know. It's just a death slog out there, and the last game on the Pac-12 network and all that. It's going to be. There's not going to be a lot of juice these final 2 days. Do you expect Notre Dame to come out ready to play against Wake, or is it going to be bye week, senior day, no juice? The team we're playing isn't good. Is it going to be a sleepy day in Notre Dame Stadium? What are we going to get?
Man, I think we come out ready to play against. I think we come out ready to play. I think it'd be something like the Pitt game, man. When we come out ready to play, it's the last home game of the season, going into the Stanford game, knowing that even though it's a long shot, man, we still have an opportunity to get in that top 12, and we still got a chance to get in that top 12. We're still getting into a New Year's Six game, man. They got something. It's barely a chance, something to play for, but it's still something to play for.
Oh, man, I kind of wrote that off as dead and buried myself. I wrote that off as dead and buried. Notre Dame doesn't even deserve a game like that, even if it fell in their lap, in my opinion.
Yeah, and, well, I look at it like this. I mean, we have a better loss than LSU do.
Yeah.
And we have better wins than LSU do. At the time of the win.
I admit to you, I can't even think about all that. After we got that third loss, I shut that all down. The people were complaining about the CFP rankings. Dude, when you lose 3 games, you don't get to complain. You don't get to complain about your ranking when you lose 3 games. You had everything in your control.
You don't.
Now you get what you get when you lose 3 times. That's what you get coming. That's what happens when you lose.
And John, I'm on the same level, but then when I started looking at the rankings, like a couple of these teams that got 2 losses should probably lose at least one, maybe 2 more games this season.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of teams that ranked ahead with 2 losses. So you know, the only team that I don't see losing with 2 losses again is probably Mizzou because they got the easier path.
Yeah. Oh man, there's no easy way out, man. This is not how I wanted November to feel for all of us. We should be on the upswing, man. We should be on the upswing, excited about what's coming next, not counting down till we pull the plug on grandma. Like, that's what it feels like. I hate this. I hate it, man. This ain't it. This isn't it. Whatever this vibe is, this ain't it. I hate it.
John, I want to say one thing, man. You went into St. Louis and you got Gray and you got Love. How in the world did you miss out on Luther Burden?
I don't know.
How did Notre Dame miss out on Luther Burden, a kid that went to a Catholic school? How did you miss out on him?
Yeah, I don't know about all that. You're the one who had that insight on more of them trying to get in down south in that area and that market.
I don't know if he turned it down. I don't know what was going on, but you miss out on Luther Burden, and Burden is like one of the top 3 receivers in the country this year.
Yeah, people are saying just decided to stay home. So I don't know how you combat that if that's what somebody wanted to do.
I don't think that was the case. I don't think that was the case at all.
Yeah, man,
he was committed to Oklahoma for over a year. If Lincoln Riley is still at Oklahoma, he probably at Oklahoma instead of Mizzou.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm frustrated with it all. I really am. Anything else on your mind as we enter this wake?
Yeah, man. I just think, man, the last thing is that, man, I just think that, man, we got to do something better at offensive coordinator. I don't know if this was truly Marcus Freeman pick, but he had to make it look like it was him. I think there was more administration. I don't know if we can hire him as a tight ends coach and bring an OC in, but we need to do something better on this offense, man.
Yeah, it's really far from being on track. Like, it's not even close. So, yeah, there are major issues there. But I don't know, man. We still got some football to play, and we need Notre Dame to win 3 more games. So that's what we're going to hope for, and then see what the offseason brings. There's going to be some drama. It's just a matter of what it's going to be about, man. Hey, thank you for the call.
All right, my man.
Have a good one. Oh, boy. Can you give me your honest opinion on grading Sam Hartman for games played? Not good enough. Not as good as I hoped for. Not as good as I needed. And a lot of it is him. And a lot of it is all the other. That's the thing. No one wants to hear it when you say, it's like, what's the problem? And you want to hammer one thing as the problem. And if you fix that, we're fine. No, it is all of it. Hartman's not as good as we wanted him to be. He's also getting worse in the year. Like, he wasn't as good as we wanted him to be to begin with. And then he's getting worse. And the OC has no answers. And the interior O-line had no answers against any real defense. And the wide receivers had no answers. I don't know what you want me to tell you. I'm making you a soup. And in the ingredients are a bunch of pieces of poop. And then we mix them all together. That's what you have. That's the Notre Dame offense. Oh, what are we going to put in here? Oh, here's some poop. Oh, there's a different poop. It's all in there. And then we just mix it together. And then that's your dinner. I don't have another analogy. All of the ingredients are not good enough. I really don't know what to tell. All the ingredients are not good enough. They're not good enough. And I don't know what you do about that. Oh, look at this. Pat, this is hilarious. So's this guy's name, by the way, Marcus 10, man. Like, that cuts so deep and it hurts me so much that it comes full circle to where it's funny. Like, has anything ever been too real, like a joke or like a, you know what I mean? Like sarcasm or like a comment? Has it ever been so real and it cuts so deep that it goes beyond hurting you and you laugh? That's what happens to me when I see Marcus 10 man on the screen. And he says, I've been replaying Patrick Cotter's rant over and over again, and I think it's the way I fire myself up in the morning. Yeah, that's it. Oh, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Man, Pat he really let one rip, and I was very, very happy about it. It was very enjoyable and fulfilling for me to not be the one delivering that and to be sitting there smiling, letting Pat go off. It really made me feel good. Really made me feel good. I wonder, this is a good question too. I wonder why Braylon James can't get on the field. It's so weird, especially once you're no longer going to burn a year. That's the line to me. If you wanted to preserve that year, which means he could do 4 games, once you're past that point, then I start to ask those questions. Is he just not physically ready? My understanding is he's one of the few guys that has like straight ahead burst that could maybe challenge somebody deep. The other thing you hear is all of these younger guys, sometimes they don't know the route concepts and this and that. Dude, we're in week 11. Shouldn't you kind of know what routes you should need to run by week 11? And you also have no depth at all at wide receiver. That's another reason you might consider playing a guy before he's ready, in your opinion, because you don't have anybody else. You have no bodies. People have been wanting Merriweather, just yank him out. This is over. Show him. There's no production. Who the hell else are you going to put in? Notre Dame's already pulling guys off other sports teams to play. You don't even have a body you can put in there. Oh. I'm losing my mind. The more I think about all this stuff, the less I can make it all make sense. I'm struggling here, man. I wonder if the fencing team has anybody. I know, me too, on guard. Dude, it always cracks me up, man. The little outfits, and they're all white, the little white outfits and the little helmet. I feel like I'm at medieval times or something in Chicago or out in the suburbs in Schaumburg or wherever the hell it is. Wherever that is. I feel like I'm at the medieval times and it's just on guard. And then, like, I don't know, how do you train for that? Watch Pirates of the Caribbean and try and see what Captain Sparrow does? I don't know, bro. You guys, I don't like where we're at. I don't like where I'm at. Yeah, I'm not clowning fencing. At least they're the best at something. Like, seriously, at least they're good at something. Oh, boy. He's going to be upset. Adam, what's going on, buddy?
John, I had to call to prepare you for something that's about to happen.
Uh-oh. What am I preparing for? Let me have it.
What are you going to do when these next 2 weeks we score in the 40s and then they get up there, Freeman gets up at the end of the year press conference and starts talking about
progress,
total offense,
no.
points per game, and all the averages, how we average what are you going to do then? And we are going to continue to get better for next year.
I'm going to have an aneurysm live on the internet. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have a stroke live on the internet. That's what's going to happen, man. And you're right, though, Adam. They'll pull the overall averages that are going to end up pretty good anyways. They'll fancy that all up. And then they'll say, look how we ended the year. We're trending up, baby. I can't handle it, Adam.
Yeah.
Don't do this to me, Adam. I can't handle it. Don't do this to me, man. I was kind of calm. Don't do this. That's so Notre Dame-y. It's so Notre Dame-y, Adam. I can't handle it.
I'm telling you, I can already see it happening because if we score a lot of points these next 2 weeks, the averages are going to be good. And I can see him trying to spin it.
Man, dude, this is just, you're making it worse, not better.
I hope I'm dead wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope Marcus sees that there's a major issue. I really do. But if I was a betting man, I think he's going to double down. I hope I'm wrong on this, but I just don't feel like he's going to fire his buddy after one season.
Oh, man, dude. But the problem is, Adam, it's nowhere near good enough. Like, if you saw stuff that was, like, close, it would be different, but you're not even on the grid, man. Like, you're not even on the grid.
And we've talked about this. We know that. I agree with you. I mean, John, we were talking, the first 4 games really wasn't as good as everyone was making it out to be either. We left that Central Michigan game angry that it was bad.
Yeah. Oh man, dude, this
NC State was a 7-point game, and they had a chance to cut it to 4 in the fourth quarter, and then they missed the field goal and we pulled away at the end. So it was not great, the first month of the year either.
Yeah. Man, there's no easy way out, Adam. What are they going to do with this quarterback situation? What should they do? And what do you think they're going to do? We already talked about the OC. What about the quarterback dynamic? They want 4, but if you get a 4th, maybe one of your 3 in-outs leave because they see the writing on the wall. I just feel like, I don't know if we're running in place or progressing.
I think it's the theory is kind of bullcrap because you're going to end up with 3. You're going to end up with 3. If you go in the portal, you're going to get 3 because one of those guys are transferring.
Yeah, I just, oh man,
it's going to be 3. No matter what you do, it's going to be 3.
Yeah.
Was that the nice way? Was that his nice way of saying we're going in the portal? These guys aren't good enough.
I think
but I'm not going to say that.
That's the only way it comes off. Isn't that the way it has to come off? Because I don't know, man. In the messaging behind the scenes, and then the other thing is they pretty much promised Hartman the starting job. So I just wonder if you go down that path again, are you going to get a guy and it's a real competition? Who wants to come on your final year and hold a clipboard? I just have a lot of questions.
And I know you've said this a bunch today, and a lot of the callers and chatters have too, but who's going to want to come to Notre Dame that's elite?
NIL money, baby. NIL money. Give them that Hartman deal, man. A lot of people come for $1 million, I think.
Yeah, so hopefully Freeman sees it. Hopefully he sees what we see. And he can make a change, somehow keep Parker on staff. Maybe he can do something to not make it seem as bad to his buddy.
Yeah.
But, I mean, one thing I think about with Parker, too, I mean, everyone's made good points of his deficiencies. But just think about, this is one example I wanted to bring up. Think about, can you think about the running play that we run the most? Can you think offhand that what does that play look like? It's probably that when we run Estime off tackle, it's like a counter play, right? Where they pull the guard and tackle around.
Yeah.
Are you agreeing with me? And he ran that a couple times against Clemson, right? We've ran that play over and over the whole season. Where is the play action to that play?
Yep.
Fake the guards pulling around, fake it to Estime, maybe throw a quick pass to a tight end, or even a hard fake and a deep post over the top. Because everyone's going to be attacking the line of scrimmage when they see those linemen starting to pull.
Where is that? It's a simple, basic offensive coordinator. Okay, that's our bread and butter run play. Let's have a counter to it. We haven't seen anything like that all year.
That's an
Not one
issue,
counter.
man. Nothing leads to the next thing. Nothing sets up a defense to where they see something and then when they're stopping it, that's when we pivot and then sneak up on it. There's no creativity. There's no plan. There's no stringing things together, thinking things. Nothing connects to anything else that stresses a defense. You don't have any of that.
No, it's bad.
Adam,
it's
it's
been bad
rough.
most
But
of
I
the year.
know you're still going to spend that money and renew your season tickets. I know you are. You were texting me last night. I might not do it this year. You're going to blow all that money on those season tickets in. I know it. I know you are.
How about they should worry about spending money on a real offense and not send me a bill for my season tickets? Maybe that should be their priority right now.
Yeah. Dude, I don't know, man. There's no easy way out of this. Do you get the Pac-12 network, or are you going to have to hook it up another way?
Oh, I guess I looked at, well, I guess it's what I saw was YouTube TV has it. That's going to be the only way, right?
I think there's some packages that might have it on cable. I'll look. I'm sure I don't have it. I haven't even looked yet. Trying to worry about this funeral Saturday before I worry about that.
I looked. I looked and I don't have it. I do have the ACC network that most people don't have.
Yeah.
But I don't have the Pac-12. But it did say that you can get it on the YouTube TV. You can get it there.
But dude, it's so funny to me that the last game on the Pac-12 network's Notre Dame. It's just so funny. Like everything's dying and well, we're going to kill this too.
Well, yeah. I mean, hopefully we can end the season well, but I had the call because I would say if I was a betting man, John, I just think they're going to come up, spin something to say we're going to run back with the same coordinator.
Yeah. Woo, baby.
I guess it's 50-50 to me. I think it could go either way. They could get a new guy or they can keep him, and it wouldn't surprise me.
Oh, man. Yeah, there's a lot. This offseason, here we go again. What are they going to do with that? What's the portal thing going to be like? Any other moving parts? There's going to be a lot there. But, man, the one thing I know is we're all mad with 3 losses. Just imagine 4. You can't have it. We got to win 3 more games, Adam.
Yep. All right, buddy. I'll let you go. Just
all right.
Don't blow a gasket. Blow a gasket.
Yeah, I'll try.
They get up on that press conference and say,
no,
we're averaging 39, 40 points a game. What do you mean the offense is bad?
Oh, no. Don't do this to me. All right, I'm hanging up on you. Go away. You're stressing me out, Adam. Shit. This is not the vibe for late November or mid-November, wherever the hell we are. It's just not. It's just not the vibe, man. This needed to be all excitement, trending up, what bowl game that's meaningful, sitting there going, here's who Notre Dame needs to root for and against to get us in a better position. We're off the grid, man. You're bad enough that you're off the grid, and I hate it. Tony, regardless of what happens, this offseason is going to be filled with content opportunity for you, John. That's for sure. I'm telling you, it's never boring. I remember last year I went to Florida in February thinking this is the dead time of the year for Notre Dame, and that's when all the OC stuff broke. It doesn't matter what happens. There's always something with Notre Dame. I thought February would be the slowest month. There ain't nothing happening. Nope. It's always something, and we'll be here to cover it. All right, everybody, that's going to be it. That's good enough for today. People are in a weird, bad, shitty mood. There is no energy. There is no vibe. Everybody's upset. Everybody is, this is just not where you want it to be. And it's really frustrating, but it's where we're at. Either way, though, we're going to go through it together. So thank everybody for being here. I saw Pat in here all day, Andrew, all the callers, everybody. Really appreciate it. And we'll get through it together. We'll get through it together. Have a good one, everybody.